I just grab my notepad and I count the stuns on either team. And then I say, well, the team with the most stuns is gonna win. But in this case, both of the teams are picking a shitload of disables, so I'm honestly at a loss and I don't know what I prefer.
Uh, well, glad to know I'm not always the only one who just sort of looks at it that way. Oh man, more and more
Another stun.
lockdown. Pango, and the Pangos really had sort of the spotlight shown on it recently at the major in particular. More and more teams picking it up
Mm-hmm.
as a damage option, not just that sort of 3 or 4 initiator that it used to be.
Yeah, I do really like watching Pango. Such a unique hero. Wish Dota had more heroes like him that just have like a unique mechanic.
Mm, well, we'll see with the next hero, whatever. Or maybe Marcy gets added to Captain's Mode. Who knows? That feels like it should have happened a little while back, but as long as Primal Beast doesn't end up in there, I'm still going to be happy. That hero's still a little
Yeah,
wonky, is maybe the polite word to use.
for sure. So Rune is going to be banning out the Anti-Mage, which makes a lot of sense because they have a Storm Spirit. Um, Anti-Mage would have been kind of a difficult hero to play here, because Rune Eaters has a lot of lockdown here, so even with the good matchup, it would have been quite tough. And now the Huskar ban as well. That's a hero I haven't seen for quite a while, so it's interesting that Rune Eaters do think of it when banning. I guess it's kind of strong in lane against Storm Spirit, and now the passive magic resistance would really be strong as well.
I guess there's still that flexibility, I suppose, on the one move side with the Chaos Knight and the Pango being able to switch positions where a Huskar could still sort of fit into that lineup. So, alright.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting ban from the Rune Eater side. Meanwhile, for one move, let's see what they think. The Bloodseeker ban, just kind of a necessity when you're going to be running a core Pango, so followed up with the
Yeah,
Gyrocopter ban.
I always think it's a shame Pungos don't just let it through and then buy Blade Mail.
Uh, actually, yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea, but all
But
things
you know, then
considered,
the enemy Bloodseeker just buys the Yules and you cry.
well, then you're forcing a Bloodseeker to buy a Yule's, but spending pretty
Fair
much the
enough.
same amount of gold. These are the weird
Runeators, they need a...
thoughts.
Yeah, this is my kind of drafting analysis. Really niche situations. But they still need a carry. I wonder what they're gonna go for. A lot of the good ones are banned already. I guess TA is still in the pool.
Oh,
They go for a Razor, okay. Interesting. I wouldn't have expected this because Razor traditionally isn't like the best possible carry against Chaos Knight. Um, but they do have an IO which really helps in lane and helps with Razor's like mobility problem as well. Because you can be quite aggressive and then just relocate to wherever the fight is.
I see the Razor. I just have maybe some concerns about your static link. You need to get the CK presumably before the Phantasm. You need to be careful that the Pangolier can't sort of swashbuckle his way out of the tether link. So
Mm-hmm.
if you can keep it, great. If you can't, though, your Razor one's going to be a little bit less effective.
Yeah. It is a little bit concerning. On the other hand, Runeaters do have a good amount of AoE already to deal with the CK. So I guess they're not really seeing the Phantasm Illusions as a real problem this game, and they're more worried about actually killing single targets and having like some ramping damage in team fights as opposed to just jumping in, using all of your spells, and then the enemy uses BKB and you have to run away.
Well, last pick up here for one move. Wingblade, do you think we see any positional shifts from this lineup, or are they just going to sort of CK1, Pango 2, and just grab an offlaner here?
Hmm. I think the CK is definitely gonna be the position one. I feel like the Pango could still be a flex pick. Because I think Pango in the position 3 role does quite well against Razor IO in the offlane. Because you can always farm with your swashbuckle. Like no one is gonna run you down really. And ideally you wanna have a better matchup against Storm Spirit as well. Because Pango is okay, but Pango is okay against every single hero. And when you have last pick mid, you kind of want to make sure that you destroy the matchup. So I would prefer to see something like a Lina. But, you know, they pick a really slow hero against a Razor. Okay, I guess this could work. I just really don't like it.
Yeah, I suppose looking at positives, it's going to give you another sort of tanky frontliner. You've got a little bit more lockdown to work with, and we have seen some teams use that sort of rift play from the Underlord to be sort of effective. Maybe that's their sort of budget version of the IO relocate on the other side.
Mm-hmm. And to be fair, they're gonna have like a really strong 20-minute timing where Underlord can just sit in front of a tower with all of the disables behind. And if Storm doesn't have a BKB, this Rune Eater's lineup is practically like worthless against what one move has. I'm just a bit worried that once they do get the BKBs, that one move is really gonna struggle. But we'll see.
Well, let's put you on the spot here with your counting stuns plan. Which of these two are you sort of favoring right now, draft wise?
I was favoring. I'm gonna go with Rune Eaters because I really don't like the Underlord last pick for one move. Before they picked the Underlord, I was favoring their draft a little bit, but now with the Underlord, even though I really love this hero, I just don't see it working in this game.
Not to see what sort of contribution they're actually able to get from that Underlord as you get this first match underway. Teams, exchanging some pleasantries, the good luck, have funs, etc. As we do get this one started, and one move. Going to start us off with a bit of a smoke play here, and is this actually going to turn into a fight? They're just sort of marching their way into the River Wingblade and get the ward down first. Just sort of take the high ground spot and see if Rune Eaters come to them, but Rune Eaters are looking pretty disciplined right now. I don't think they're going to fall into this trap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't really have a great reason to leave that tier 1 position.
Just always so weird to me. Just 5 heroes sitting up there waiting to see what happens, but Eaters.
Ooh. I don't think that was spotted.
Someone had to have been looking, and nobody's really pinging it out, so okay. Rune Eaters, they get away with one a little bit there with that vision, but we have seen, really regardless of vision, that sort of regardless of region, that mid-vision game, always so important for these squads, so both teams will have some vision over that middle lane. Runes are really just looking like a 2-2 split, and get this one started. And Wingblade, I want to ask you, sort of first and foremost here, looking at this off-lane duo for Rune Eaters, you got the Sand King Mirana combo. I mean, how aggressive do you think this duo will be compared to balancing out maybe early farm for Cloud?
I mean, it really depends on the positioning for Pantomime. Because I don't think they're gonna be able to kill Smiting Knight on this CK because, well, he has 760 HP, 6 armor, and a full magic wand completed already. So they're gonna have to farm for a bit. Because you can just tell the aggression from one move. Because Grimstroke and CK are really strong level 1, and the Sand King Mirana doesn't really come online yet.
Nice
until like level 3, level 4, level 5.
We actually saw Arrow just using the arrow to take out the range creep, so trying to control the lane, not going to get too aggressive until they actually have the levels to do something, because Cloud taking that Sandstorm means he's not really in a position to do much fighting right now, as he is still kind of getting beat on a little bit. You know what? The Kaori.
This is some interesting positioning from the IO.
In between the towers, having a farm fight with Soyu. That's not the way this lane's normally supposed to go. Afterlife's going to come over and say, what the heck are you two doing here? Not really a whole lot that can be done.
Like, give me back my creeps. What the hell? But as an offlaner, you're really happy to see that. Like, trading farm is perfect.
Yeah, especially if you're Afterlife right now and you're just sort of able to farm up. I saw you in a little bit of trouble there, but
So good.
able to TP himself away. Meanwhile, First Blood goes down in the top lane, and as Cloud, well, first 2 times he was able to walk away from that aggressive maneuver, the 3rd time around, Phantom and Smiling Knight take him down.
Yeah, the Inkswell popped even after Burrow striking away, so really no escape at that point.
In this lane, a little bit rough for Cloud. He does now have the point up in the burrow at least. He picked up a bracer, so he's not going to be quite as sort of vulnerable here, but I don't know. Anytime they want, they've got the combo. Throw the Inkswell down, get the Reality Rift into the Chaos Bolt in there, and you are all but guaranteed the 2 stuns, so still a very risky situation for Rune Eaters in this top lane.
Luckily, Sand King doesn't really need to dominate his lane. If he gets a blink at any point, he's gonna be completely fine.
In the meantime, take a look over to the middle lane. Haze versus Mellow Jewel here, and well, at this point, Wingblade, I don't know, this lane kind of just feels like who hits 6 first is going to start sort of making those rotations. Do you think there's really any kill potential for either one of these two before that point?
Normally, I would say no, but with heroes like Pango and Storm, there is always this X factor where if someone makes a mistake, like runs too close and you get an electric vortex in the middle of a creep wave, there is always kill potential. But if these heroes just play the way they're supposed to, it's just gonna be more farming until level 6.
To these mid laners at the top of their respective sort of sides here last hit-wise, so not a whole lot being done to disrupt them at the moment, so we'll just be who gets 6 and where do they go? Who controls the runes as well here, as both mid laners are trying to control this rune spot. Pantomim's even going to come over to sort of help out, and that should get Mellow Jewel the bottle refilled. The other water rune, though, isn't really being protected by anyone on the Rune Eater side, so Haze is going to be able to get that top off.
Some nice movements.
3 bottle charges for Mellow feels nice, and see Pantomime sort of rotated towards mid to protect that rune. Soyu's just sort of working in his jungle right now, so not a lot of attention being paid, but Wingblade, do you think there's an equilibrium? Oh, hold on. Afterlife's going to get jumped in on, so we'll go back to that point in a second. Nice shackles coming in from Soyu to allow Afterlife to TP away, but now, well, now your Shadow Shaman is the one in trouble. He's just going to have to try and walk himself out of this, and I don't think he's making it. One more hit, TA2000 will get the kill, and Rune Eaters are able to tie up the score 1-1.
Yeah, at this point it's really hard for one move to stay in this bottom lane. Because Razor has his level 2 static link and he has boots. And Afterlife, well, he has boots as well, but just the difference between a tethered Razor and an Underlord is a pretty stark contrast.
Life is gonna yoink a creep wave out of there. Meanwhile, back mid, Soyu after the death has sort of rotated his way over. I think he was spotted. Arrow's pinging out his location, so he is not as sneaky as he would like to be, but he might still try for something just because, well, if he doesn't, this is going to happen. He gets jumped in on, and Haze very quickly blows him up.
Very nicely done there by Rune Eaters. Nice chain stun. No chance for a response.
And now Arrow going to get to soak a little experience, maybe grab a level or 2 mid. So, bad trade-off there, while Haze just sort of builds himself up. The Null Talisman's coming already, so I mean, it's a Storm. It's going to play the same way Storm has played for the last couple of months here.
Yep. Let's see if Arrow can make something work with this Invis rune. He's actually maxing the Arrow as well. No points in Starstorm just yet.
Oh. Kind of gives up the Invis there to try and go for the pull. He's at least going to be able to pull it off, so lane should start sort of pushing in their favor, but Pantomime has returned to this lane as well, so at this point I'm not sure how much they could find. There is enough mana for a burrow, so if they see an opportunity, they could try for it, but as you alluded to previously, Smiling Knight, as long as he's here, he's going to sort of be the anchor for this duo, and they really don't seem to have the damage to bring him down.
Yeah. Ooh,
Okay.
nice rotation by Melajul.
Gets
Using the
himself
ball
to...
there and getting the kill on TA2K.
And that is going to be a big one, sort of putting the Razor on the sideline. And now Kaori... Well, this is always kind of the downside of your IO, right? If you don't have your partner... What does the IO really do here? Maybe he can grab one of these last hits with his prodigious right-clicking ability, but... Okay, he got one. Alright, sorry, Kaori. I retract my my smack talk.
Yeah, not bad.
But yeah, the Razor being set back there, not fantastic. Rune Eaters, although, to be honest, at this point, it really doesn't feel like that death is going to set him back all that significantly. He's just right back in lane, and if he now rotates into the jungle, do you think one move are really going to put any effort into hunting him down this early in the game?
Nah, probably not. I feel like shutting down the Storm Spirit is gonna be more important, but I don't think they have much of a timer just yet. Ooh, Sand King getting smacked around a little bit.
Guys go for the burrow. Meanwhile, in the river, Arrow, ooh. Nifty leap play, gets over the cliff. Trio of heroes unable to really track him down. However, the other side of things, Haze does have a haste rune, so could be his moment to strike. We saw Melojul sort of make that rotation down bot just a moment or two ago to sort of swing some momentum, so perhaps the Storm will do the same. For now, though, cleaning up the stacked camp. Kaori was kind enough to stack that up for him, so extra gold. Mana just being regened up because he's got Nio with him, and shall see where he looks to make a move, if he even really opts to do so, because right now, the only lane I think he can kind of go to is top. Bottom lane's kind of disappeared.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I really like that movement from Afterlife, recognizing that there is really very little to gain.
Line 2 in the top lane. Melojul, though, has arrived. Rolling Thunder in will get him one return kill onto Cloud, but not sure how much he's going to be able to do after. And yeah, Haze still has the haste. And there's going to be the jump. Can he get the Vortex? Not quite yet, but he will get it the second time into the arrow. Excellent play from Rune. Well, said top was kind of the only option for Haze to rotate to, and he does just that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very nicely.
Oh, no, yeah, they
nicely
want to defend these stacks.
They see the stack as well.
Everybody.
But yeah, the one downside of this Rune Eaters lineup is that they don't really have any way to capitalize on these kills. Like, they have no pushing heroes.
They are right. They really don't have any significant damage dealers to those towers, which means they might have to pay a little bit more attention to that timer when the siege creeps come around and sort of try and time things out perfectly. So that is going to be one sort of piece of good news for one move here. You lose some fights, obviously you're falling behind, nearly 2k down now, but towers sort of staying up, you're still going to be able to maintain farming space for your boys.
Mm-hmm. I do feel like they're gonna have to start doing something soon. Like, you want to wait for the CK armlet probably, but you don't want to just have a Razor plus IO and a Storm Spirit free farming.
Smiling Knight is not quite there yet with that armlet. His teammates, though, sort of looking to make a move here. 4-man rotation into the bottom lane, but well, TA2K says, no, thank you. He's just going to walk away, so I'm not sure if this Rune scouted out that rotation or if he's just sort of got the spidey senses tingling, but either way, the Razor backs off, and well, one move with the siege creep could just take the tier 1 tower here, and yeah, that's going to be the play. They'll drop the Serpent Wards and grab themselves an objective.
I feel like this is exactly what one move needs to do. You need to keep applying this pressure and just use every single Mass Serpent Ward's cooldown to get a tower.
Bit of an exchange as well, because the tier 1 top was taken by Rune Eaters, so gold-wise, that's not really going to sort of move the needle all that much, but one move are still trying to remain on the offensive. 3-man smoke making its way mid, and they move their way into the jungle. They should be running into some heroes, but Arrow's in a perfect position right now to sort of just blow this smoke gank, and He's going to do exactly that. Melodrool not quite confident enough to just barrel his way through that ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even with the raindrops, he's still not quite tanky enough, I think, to live through the chain stun.
Meantime, though, Hayes just continues to farm. Top of the net worth. Got himself a trio of null talismans, and if this should be the customary BKB purchase coming up for him, as he's going to make the move top, looking for Afterlife. TP coming in from Pantomime, but will it be in time to help? It looks like it will be. They get the silence down, and Hayes just going to try and zip away. Melodrool is tracking him with the Rolling Thunder. Looks like they're going to go for the easier kill, though. They see Kaori, but Kaori's going to be able to tether himself into the tree line, and Ace is going to give this a go. Cloud comes in as well with the Epicenter into the Burrow Strike, so Melodrool has to sort of reposition himself, but while he does so, Phantom is going to get taken down. Afterlife still chasing after Kaori in that tree line, but another tether is going to allow him to walk away. Afterlife now tries to get away with the portal, and he does make it out, but if you're one move, oh, that's still not a great look. That's a fight that you initiated, and they're the only ones to lose heroes, and now the smoke play coming out from Rune Eaters.
Yeah, that was such an awkward roll from Melodrool. Like, he had to roll for like 5 seconds before he even connected the first time. But then there were no cliffs nearby, so he just got like this single roll and then like just rolled into a creep wave out of frustration. I don't know. In Pro Dota, if you can go for a play, but it's gonna take like 20 seconds, you probably shouldn't go for that play, because you give so much time to the enemy team to react.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect point. As you said, you give them too much time to react, because Rune Eaters were able to pull everybody back, reassess, and then decide whether they wanted to reinitiate, and obviously they did choose to sort of start that fight back up, but the fact that they get that choice means your gank was not quite as well organized as it needed to be. Maybe this one can be a little bit better, as we see Pantomime and Soyu moving their way into the jungle. They're going to spot out Kaori. That's a soul bind that's going to link to really no one right now, but that's not going to accomplish much. Of Melodrool, did he? Oh, he did. He ulted again. That's not great. Well, Rolling Thunder put on cooldown once again. It's not the longest in the world, but this is going to be a bit of an issue for one move, because Melodrool is supposed to be sort of the guy for them right now in terms of their initiation. Your CK isn't really ready to go yet, so he is missing the mark with the Rolling Thunder initiation. You're really just not doing much of anything.
And both the Storm Spirit and the Razor are dangerously close to their BKB. And I think once they finish those, well, I don't really see how one move's gonna be able to fight.
They don't really have anything to just sort of power their way through BKBs, especially not full duration ones like they will be once they pick those up, so we're sort of playing against a bit of a timer.
The one saving grace that they do have is the blink on the Shadow Shaman. If they can get the jump on either the Razor or the Storm Spirit, they can easily kill them before they get the BKBs off.
Pressure will shift onto Soyu because, well, as you said, it's a nice play, but now he has to be your initiator. He has to sort of set up for everyone else, including Melodrool on the Pango, who now has some extra damage with the Diffusal Blade, but really seeing that blink out from him just yet as one move. Okay, gonna push forward with these Serpent Wards. Problem is, they're getting cleaned up pretty quickly in the duration of that glyph as well, so that's not ideal. You don't get much damage onto the tower. TA2000 sort of ate most of the farm from those Serpent Wards as well, and one kind of falls apart a little bit, and now here comes Rune Eaters. They are smoked and hit by the Moonlight Shadow, so they would like to make a move.
And BKB for the Storm.
There it is. Burrow strikes in as well. They catch onto two, and they're just going to start blowing up heroes. Pantomime and Soyu both drop low and taken down. Afterlife is going to try to get out with the portal, but he's pulled back by the Vortex before he can go through. Haze. Well, Haze strikes at the perfect time. Arcane Rune on Storm just a little too strong, and that's going to be 3 kills, and presumably this tower once the glyph wears off, and well, Wingblade, I think it was safe to say we had concerns for one move before. These concerns are just straight up problems for them now.
Yeah, and Underlord's even working towards a Rod of Atos, which is gonna do absolutely nothing, because the BKBs are already done. He went for this hood, which really delayed his Atos by a ton. But he also needs the hood, because then if he doesn't get it, he just dies. So yeah, he's just in a sticky situation either way. No matter what he builds, it's just a rough underlord game.
Part of the reason that you were not particularly happy with that pick when we saw it come out, now Afterlife is sort of having to deal with the consequences. But at the end of the day, you got to finish the Atos. You're 3/4 of the way there. Upgrading the hood into a pipe is going to be nice for durability, and as you said, he's going to be kind of in trouble with whatever build he goes for, so you might as well just try and focus on some durability, and maybe team fights sort of get a little bit easier later down the line if you do have those auras for your team.
I guess. But yeah, I'm really not a fan of the way that one move was playing it in the past few minutes. We're just farming jungle, and the BKBs are scary, but you do need to do something, and this is exactly what they're doing now. Is the IO close enough for a relocate? Doesn't look like it.
They do take down Haze, but now the reinforcements have arrived. Cloud, though, Cloud just got blown up. Melodule was able to hit him, and Kiori kind of caught in no man's land. He'll tether up to TA2000, and should be enough to keep him safe for the time being. But they still need to turn the rest of this fight. Melodule, though, starting to run out of backup himself. He's got Pantomime with him, and that's really it. And now they're sort of getting split up. Pantomime looks for the TP home. He's going to be able to make it out of there while Melodule track down a kill onto Arrow. So the fight really gets split up there, Wingblade. It's 3 dead on each side, but... well, I don't know. If you're one move, you end up losing your carry, whereas TA2000 is still up and running on the other side.
I think all things considered, it's not too bad though. They did manage to kill the Storm, which is quite big, and they got like a 700 gold lead from that fight. They're gonna be quite happy. Let's see. No great item progression for one move just yet, aside from the blink on Melojul now, which is gonna help even more with shutting down the right targets.
Link Dagger up, looking for Shard later on for the roll-up, so is coming along quite nicely. Meanwhile, for Smiling Knight, that's interesting. Mage Slayer sort of queued up for him. Is TA2000 able to find a kill up top? And Wingblade, I'm sort of ask for your opinion on this for Smiling Knight. What do you think of this itemization? We'll get back to that in a moment here, as Cloud's going to get jumped in on. They've got him with the shackles, able to root him up. Afterlife hits him with the Rod of Atos, which, well, maybe it wasn't entirely necessary, but better safe than sorry, as they do catch out the Sand King.
So yeah, I think the Mage Slayer is pretty cool. It's gonna build into Bloodthorn, which is gonna help a lot with the damage issues that their lineup has. And it gives a bit of magic resistance, which is also nice against Rune this lineup. It's kind of a weird item to buy, but I really don't mind it here. It's similar to Echo Saber. Gives a bit of mana regen as well. It's just a bit more defensive.
Time. Some TPs coming in down bot. Cloud is back in. Haze has arrived as well, and they're looking for a fight. They could find one pretty easily, or actually maybe not. One move, 5-man smoke leading them away from that south side jungle, and well, it seems like they're looking up top. This is going to be a long trip. Might sort of stretch sort of the outer limits of that smoke timing, and TA2000 and Kiori are already backing off, so they need a different angle. They are sort of breaking their way through the west side jungle now, but they have enough time. They actually see Haze instead. That would be a much better target. They're going to jump in onto him. They get the silence, the hex, the soulbind. They're going to be able to blow up these kills. TA2000 was just relocated in, so he is going to try and fight his way through this one, but he and his teammate are just getting sort of bounced around right now. Kiori has to make sure he doesn't go down, but he will in fact fall, so TA2K is just sort of fighting here by himself. Arrow coming in, trying to help out, and that does allow the Razor to pick up a couple of kills there as Smiling Knight and Pantomime do fall, but that is still a bit of a costly fight on that Rune Eater side.
Yeah, one move had such nice vision.
Can they do this? Risky. Wow, Melojul, that's not great. He will go down. Now Kiori comes back in, starts healing up. Afterlife has to try and TP away, and he is going to make it, but
ooh,
Wingblade, I don't exactly know what the thought process for Meladriel was there. I think he just thought he was tankier than he was, but that is an unfortunate overextension.
Yeah, he got no lucky shot proc there. Never lucky. But yeah, I really like the vision for one move. They had vision on both the Razor and IO top and the Sand King and Storm Spirit mid. It was quite a big mistake from Rune to like show in lane when one move had been missing for so long. Because ooh, Cloud top. Okay. Bit of a mistake there. But yeah, if the enemy team doesn't show for like a full minute, you don't see them in lane, you don't see them in the jungle farming, you shouldn't just show somewhere. You should just wait, because they are not doing anything, because they use the smoke and they're running around. So you shouldn't give them the opportunity to like capitalize on anything. You should just be patient. Speaking about being patient, this is gonna be a quick Roche, so Rune doesn't have the time to be.
Oh boy. Hayes is going to zip into the pit, though, looking to steal the Aegis. Will he be able to do so? Yes, he does. He grabs it. Smiling Knight now in a bit of trouble. He's going to try and phantasm his way out of this, but he is still stuck in there. His BKB has come to an end, but well, they need more help for him. He's still dropping low, but the fight's starting to shift a little bit to the south. TA2K's gone down, and Hayes is going to lose that first life, so the CK able to hold his own. And they don't get the Aegis for themselves, but they very quickly took it out of Hayes' hands. They get a kill onto that Razor, and well, they have timed out now, Wingblade, but I'm kind of surprised. Rune Eaters, they make that play, and then they continue to fight in the pit. There were still multiple heroes and Serpent Wards all around them when they start that fight.
Yeah, there was a bit of panic there. Part of me just tells me that they could have let the Roche go, because it's not like one move has a great Aegis carrier, because both the Pango as well as the CK are really ulti dependent. But yeah, it was kind of a judgment call, and it could have done better.
Well, slight setback perhaps for Rune Eaters, but even if there isn't a great Aegis carrier on the side of one move, no Aegis carrier is probably still advantageous for you, so.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, oh, this is the other thing I want to ask you. So Hayes has been pretty active so far, 6-2 and 1, but we haven't quite seen the same level of aggression or initiation from the likes of the Sand King or the Mirana. As I say that, though, Cloud's going to make a move straight onto Afterlife, and they will find that kill. So, well, Wingblade, there goes that point. There's the aggression we were looking for.
Yeah, I mean, as a Sand King, you want to be a little bit conservative with your aggression until you have either Yules or a BKB, because otherwise you just stun and then instantly die. And that's not really the dream for an initiator. Ideally, you want to like go in, stun someone, and then go back to keep like the threat on the field. But without any defensive item, you can't really do that on the SK. While the Storm can just jump in and jump out. I expect the Sand King to be more aggressive once he finishes his BKB in 200 gold.
It's just about there. Bot lane, though, may not be the safest place for him to farm for the next couple of minutes, as trio of one-move heroes, actually 4 heroes, as Meladriel makes his way over as well, and it's being delivered to him right now, but he was able to get that Skull Basher up and running, so now this Pangolier is going to be pretty dangerous. He's got the Blink, he's got the Roll-Up, he's got the Diffu, and the Basher, so Rune Eater's heroes have got to be careful.
He needs to be so careful, though. Like, he has 1600 HP and no defensive items whatsoever. If he gets jumped, he just dies instantly.
Here comes the jump. Rune Eaters making their way over. They are going to run into the CK first, and Smiling Knight, there's just no backup. His teammates are close, but not nearly close enough, and without the Chaos Knight, yeah, it's time to go. They're going to try and portal away as best as they can. Can Hayes pull anyone? No. Fortunately, he usually... No, don't do it.
Jumping.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, okay. They're going to do it. Making their way towards the middle lane, trying to get onto Afterlife. Can they finish him off in time? They can't get him, but they'll get Meladriel, far more valuable, and actually Afterlife didn't pull himself back down bot, so they will get both kills. That... I'm going to be honest, Wingblade.
I love Fiend's Gate.
Chasing in Fiend's Gate almost never works, but... Oh, it was perfect that time.
I was like... Yeah, I was 100% ready for the Fiend's Grip 3-man into base for the Fiend's Gate. But then it was actually in the mid, and I was like, what?
Yeah, that's a... I don't know, if you're Afterlife, I'm not sure what he was sort of thinking. The Fiend's Gate's got the same sort of travel time regardless, so... A little bit strange that he takes the mid, ends up costing a couple of lives, and... It's only a minor mistake, but it allows Rune Eaters now, to just push the high ground, and... I mean, Pantomime... I mean, bless his heart, but he's not going to be able to do anything against this push. Just a couple of casual strokes of fade in there, but won't save the melee racks.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes a few casual strokes just isn't going to be enough.
Not touching that one. Not touching that one. In the meantime, TA2K able to get himself the AC up and online, so if one move try to make some sort of response play, it's going to be even tougher fighting into that sort of armor or a Melodjewel. This is... Well, actually, it might work. Cloud is going to pop the BKB, though, and he might just turn around at this point. The Epicenter's online. TA2000's coming back in, so they're going to try and force this fight, but Cloud actually got stunned, not able to get the Epicenter off, but now Hayes zipping onto the backline. Pops the BKB, looking for Soyu first, trying to take the Shadow Shaman out of the fight as quickly as he possibly can. They are going to be able to find that first kill. Can they get any more? The Razor's HP is not really looking fantastic, and Fiori's just going to relocate him out. So the fight doesn't quite hit the scale that I think they were initially looking for, but... Well, it doesn't go disastrously, I suppose, if you're one move, but now they've just got to sort of fall back into their base.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this Razor is such a problem for one move. Because he's just too tanky to be bursted by, like, the CK Reality Rift with illusions. And they don't really have any other heroes that can kill a Razor. They have a good amount of stuns, but, like... they have the Anvil, but not the Hammer.
Yeah, and I think that's also something that Hayes was sort of working towards taking away. You saw him zip all the way onto the back line, just sort of cut the Shadow Shaman off at the knees, because he's the one who could give you enough lockdown to try onto TA2000, so take him out of the equation, and one move really don't have a play to make. And he's looking for a Satanic on the Razor as well, so you already said one move can't burst him. That's going to become even more problematic if he just has that straight-up lifesteal to work with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had some doubts about the Razor in the draft, but it's been working wonders for them.
Cloud, okay. Looking for something here. He is getting right behind the opposing team, and you see Smiling Knight, that would be a pretty solid target, but they're going to spot him first. Melodjewel blinks in, but Hayes makes his move. They're going to jump onto Sawyer once again, looking to take that Shadow Shaman out, and that's a very quick and easy kill. Smiling Knight has no choice but to pop the BKB and TP away. Melodjewel will do the same in the Rolling Thunder, and, well, if you're one move... Wingblade, I feel like these are the plays that they're being forced into. They push out bot, they get the tower, but it's going to cost you basically suicidal plays from your supports.
Mm-hmm. I have to say, Hayes' jumps on the Storm Spirit are so good every single time. Like, he sees the Pango jump in and then predicts where the Shadow Shaman is probably gonna be and finds him every single time. Such a joy to watch.
Yeah, that wasn't even really a vision play. They didn't see him. As you said, he just sort of predicted where that Shadow Shaman would be, and I don't know, at this point, looking at the one move lineup for them, is there anything they can do right now to try and get aggressive, to try and swing momentum, or is this a situation, Wingblade, where they just kind of have to try and delay the game a bit?
Yeah, they just have to delay because their vision really isn't suited for going for any kind of smoke play. Both the mid and the top lane are pushed out, so they have to deal with that one. And then they need to somehow secure vision to get a pick off somewhere. It doesn't work like that. You just need to make sure you push out the lanes a bit, establish some control on the map, and then try to go for a play. Because if you go right now, not only are you gonna run in blind, but it's gonna be super predictable.
Oh, they're buying time, farming up. Smiling Knight's got an Eye of Scotty online, so a little bit more durability. He's got that slow to work with as well. Maybe that helps sort of keep heroes like the Razor sort of corralled for them for a fight, and they are going to look for that fight right now. Full 5-man smoke into the middle lane, but well, while they do this, Rune Eaters were hanging out around the Roche pit, but once they see this rotation, they're not 100% sure, but you've got Roche halfway down, you might as well finish it. That is exactly what they're going to do, but while they do so, it's the wraparound one move. Do they commit to the pit? They actually... That was an interesting dust. Your smoke didn't pop, so there wasn't really anyone close by, but... Maybe a fat finger, just a...
misclick.
Yeah. But they're still in decent position here. They see Roche coming out of the pit, so they know the Rune Eaters were sort of trying something. Arrow?
Sand King is just killing it with the Sandstorm.
He threw the wards in. Oh, Hayes, okay. He's going to make a move, pops the BKB, looking for the Grimstroke here. Not quite enough damage to finish him off right away. But now the TA 2000, oh my god, Razor comes into play, but that was a lot of damage out from Smiling Eye. He's going to be able to blow up Hayes, and TA 2000, he is actually losing a lot of health right now. He's going to get hit by the Basher, but Kiori saves the day. Coming in with the heal, relocates back. And they are going to be able to sort of swing that one their way.
Oh,
Cloud
Roche is dying. It's dead.
Oh my god. The Serpent Wards. Oh my god, everyone just kind of forgets, including me. Melojul just waltzes in, says thanks for the Aegis, and... Okay. One move able to sort of pull that one off. It does cost them their CK, but... That works, somehow.
I love how TA2K actually managed to kill Hayes just by walking close enough so the soulbind triggered. Because Storm was alone and he was soulbound and he could have just jumped away, but TA2K was like, nah, I'm gonna kill the CK, I'm gonna walk close. And then Hayes just got completely clobbered by the CK.
Just one of those in the team comms. Hayes just told his teammates, like, listen, man, I need you to stop trying to help me.
Yeah.
At least they get the CK.
Always
if they
love to
don't get
see,
it, then that looks a lot more sort of clowny, but... What is TA working on now? Going for the Blink Dagger at this point, and... I don't know. Do you think this is just sort of a casual Blink? Can he upgrade it to the Swift Blink later down the line? Because, I mean, he is looking pretty dangerous as a right-clicker right now.
Yeah, Swift Blink's definitely the way to go here. Just get onto the back lines, or just get the double link off on the CK. Just a really nice, like, 6th item for any hero, pretty much.
Now, sort of back over to the one-move side. For Melojul, you take this Aegis away from your opponents. Do you think this is enough where one move are going to look to get aggressive again, or should this just sort of be a farming Aegis kind of scenario for them?
I think they want to stay aggressive. I think if this goes super late, they do have a decent shot still, because heroes like Grimstroke and Underlord are really difficult to deal with in the like late game. But they definitely want to keep their momentum going right now.
Smiling Knight is working on an AC. I was going to say close, but that's not 100% true at the moment. Still a ways to go for that, but he continues to farm up. Melojul is going to take the outpost here, and this is going to be the problem for one move. They have established a nice bit of sort of control on this south side really throughout this game, but short of straight up pushing the high ground, they've sort of taken everything that they can objective-wise in that area. So if they want to get any sort of closer on that front, they are going to have to maneuver onto their opponent's side of the map. Of course, last couple of times they've tried that, it's led into team fights that they don't necessarily win, but now they are oh my god. They are feeling confident. Maybe not anymore. Hayes just breaks that up. So now he has to go back and heal.
Buying a Shivas. That's not a null.
Yeah, what are you doing? Where's your 6 nulls? Yeah, Kaya-san, Shiva's guard, so we saw a little bit of it, I think, in that last fight, right? If he does get jumped in on, if there is that sort of soulbind leash onto him, then he does still die pretty damn quickly, so maybe a little bit in the way of defensive itemization will do him good here. Let's call mid there as Cloud's able to blink away. One move, though, they're pushing a bit further forward than we've seen from them in the past, so they feel confident in their abilities with this Aegis in their hands. Only about 70 seconds left on that, so They want to make use of it. They're going to have to go soon, but Rune Eaters at this point, Wingblade, feel like they're being pretty disciplined right now. They're not sort of hanging themselves out anywhere where they can be easily jumped on.
Yeah, they recognize that they're stronger. They just don't want to risk it within Aegis. They feel confident that even like 5 minutes from now, they're still going to be leading, regardless of if they give up a little bit of map control in the process.
They even have... No, they don't really have any smokes left on the side of one move here, so not too much that they can do undetected. Although, as I say that... Oh. Actually delivered extra dust to Pantomime. Thought smoke. Not bad, but... Well... The window has passed, for now at least, as that Aegis will be reclaimed. Meanwhile, this entire movement is being scouted out by the Rune Eater's ward, so they are going to smoke themselves in their way up top. One move. Don't spread out too much, because Hayes, yep, he's looking for the jump in. They're going to go straight onto the Shadow Shaman once again. Soyu's already dead, and Smiling Knight just kind of getting blown up here as well. The Phantasm's not going to do him much good. Oh boy. Not great. Afterlife.
Ooh, no buyback.
Himself away, and yeah, there's no
Should
buyback.
be another set of racks.
What did
Luckily
he...
for one move, they still have a tier 1 bottom, but top racks is dead for sure.
Only downside is that TA2000 used both of the eyes for that fight, so they will sort of wear off by the time he gets there, but with his right click, Kiori to back him up, you really don't need Eye of the Storm all that much. He is just tearing his way through that tier 3 tower. The glyph will come out, though, and Meladrill is TPing back, so there's at least going to be a token level of resistance, I suppose, but if you're Rune Eaters, you know, if the CK is not up, they're not actually going to fight you. Hayes, zipping in, able to get onto the Underlord. They've got him stunned up. Soulbind, though, coming out into the double silence. Meladrill's now going to roll forward as well. They are looking for the kill onto Hayes. They do manage to bring him down. Well, I was saying before, you know, without the CK, one move weren't going to fight, but if the fight just comes straight to them, they'll take it, and now they're looking to actually push onto the Razor as well. They're not going to get the Inkswell stun onto him, but they've saved the melee racks, and really, that's kind of the most important thing here.
So sloppy by Rune Eaters. They could have just stood back and just killed the racks.
Oh,
They paid the price.
well, Kiori gets pulled back to his relocate position. They hit him up with like 3 roots and a silence, basically, and as you said, Wingblade, sloppy is kind of the word there. Hayes, if you make that play, sure, you look kind of cool, you look like a genius, but because he makes that play, his teammates abandon the push onto the racks to try and help him out, and just kind of felt unnecessary.
Yeah, you spoke about the discipline earlier, but it's not all discipline.
You know,
Sometimes
can't
you
always.
just gotta divide.
Can't resist the urge to dive tier 4s. I gotta admit, I have never had that problem as a support player, but you know, cores live in a different world from us supports, but...
Yep.
But Hayes is going to be back up. They should be able to reset just fine. Still an 8k lead, so it's unfortunate. It's an overextension. It's probably a mistake, but shouldn't cost them too significantly, although one move... They might just be able to take this tier 1 tower. Soyu's got the shard up as well, so you get those extra sort of serpent wards on the shackles to help out, and... The question at this point, Wingblade, do they go any further than this? Because they should know... Yeah, well, now they know for sure that Hayes is back up. Killed him off once, but that's kind of because Hayes overextended. Not sure if you're going to be able to get that same opportunity again, but one move aren't going to back off.
I mean, they have 10 seconds without the IO. Should be able to deal a decent amount of damage, but I don't think they want to take a full 5-on-5 here.
Hayes is zipping. He's looking for it. He's going to get onto Pantomime. Cloud with a 2-man burrow strike, locking him down. They find the first kill. They want Smiling Knight as well. Man, this CK. I mean, listen, when he gets the Phantasm out preemptively, when he's sort of ganging up on one hero with those illusions, he looks great, but in any fight where he doesn't have the numbers, he's just getting blown up instantly.
I mean, Hayes just finds the initiation every single time on at least 2 heroes. And without vision, I don't get it. How does he do it?
Yeah. Yeah, they still didn't have vision there. And Cloud, I mean, this is the best Sand King game you're ever gonna get. You're just being handed 2-man burrow strikes and epicenters just left, right, and center from this storm. So Sand King really doesn't have to take too many risks. And now here comes the push into the top lane again. Their creep wave, there we go, kind of lagging behind. Meanwhile, Meladrul just gonna keep on faking out the Rolling Thunder. The arrow though connects onto him, so Rune Eaters may have an opening here. They throw down the static links. It's reflected, though, so he's not getting quite as much damage as he wants. And now Meladrul is going to make his move, jumping his way forward. But he's not bouncing again. These just Rolling Thunder plays, they're really not doing what they need to do. He's not able to get that continuous stun down.
I think this was actually okay for one move. They buy enough time to make sure that their Rax survives. And Roche isn't going to be up yet for another 40 seconds. So this timing is ideal for one move. They have a bit of time to push out the lanes now, and then when CK revives, they can start moving into Roche.
Smoke a little bit earlier. The CK's coming up right now, but he can act as sort of the trailer on this play. If this sort of quartet finds someone, then the CK should be able to get there in time. The question is, do they find anyone? They would have to basically invade the triangle in that west side jungle, and they're going to be going into basically the entirety of Rune Eaters. This is going to get risky for them. They go all the way. They could divert to the pit instead, but okay. Looks like it's going to be the pit for them. Roshan is back up. I believe they did scout that out for just a moment, so they should know, but well, if Roche is back up, you know Rune Eaters are going to be looking for it as well, and yeah, right on cue. It's going to be a 5-man smoke. Rune Eaters want the fight into the Roche pit, and see if they can now sort of get the angle. Okay, Hayes doesn't need an angle. He's just going to zip in. They're going to go straight onto the Chaos Knight, trying to lock him down. Burrow Strike's going to come through. TA was able to connect there with that static link, so they're going to take down Smiling Knight first. He'll immediately buy back into the fight, trying to rejoin his teammates, but he already used his TP earlier, so it's on cooldown. But while that happens, the fight goes down. They do drop a portal for him, so he's able to rejoin immediately. But they still need to deal with Hayes. They're going to be able to hit him up with the first root, but they find that kill. Meladrul's been taken down, and now outside of Smiling Knight, you have some serious damage issues to deal with. Lack of damage, I suppose, is the issue, but Meladrul is going to be able to buy back himself. He also uses the Fiend's Gate. And despite losing far more than their opponents did, it's one move who moved into the pit. Rune Eaters, they can't really let this stand. They have to try and get in here. The arrow is going to fly, not connecting onto anything, but I mean, what do they do? It really feels like Hayes has to initiate for them again, which is sort of gearing up to do, but the window is tight here. They're already losing Roche. Cloud, though, is going to just make the move. TA2000 in with the static link. They're going to lock down Smiling Knight again. They need to be able to kill him off here. He just bought back, cannot afford to die, but they are going to be able to finish him off. Cloud falls as well, but the Sand King quickly buying himself back into the game in one move. They're kind of going all in for this one. They realize the CK is dead and he's not coming back. We have to take this fight, but there's going to be the Vortex pulling into the Aghanim Scepter upgrade, doing some work here as Meladrul is dropping low. Not dead just yet, though. But I don't think he's going to be able to get out of the pit. They will take him down. Now they can focus on Afterlife exclusively. He did grab the Aegis there, but 2 lives just means he's going to die twice.
They did get the Aghanims on Grimstroke, which is nice, I suppose. But yeah, they lose everyone.
So, TA2000 grabs the triple kill. Rune Eaters had to use a couple of their buybacks, but they used 2. One move used 4 and still didn't really take the fight that they wanted, but as you said, they got the Aegis out of their opponent's hands. You do have the Aghanim's Blessing, so at least those aren't up on Rune Eaters, but I don't think Rune Eaters care. They're just going to push their way through, and you mentioned it like 15 minutes back. There's still a tier 1 down in that bottom lane, so they can't get the Megas. They're just going to go for the tier 4s, and I mean, considering these death timers, they might just be able to end the game here.
Yeah, I think so. There are absolutely no buybacks on one move, so they have 35 seconds to kill half of a tier 4 and a throne. Should be easy enough.
Serpent Wards are, well, they're there, but they're not going to do much good. The GG will be called, and one move will concede defeat here as Rune Eaters. Solid show, taking the opening match of this best of 3.
Yep.
Rune Eaters.
See.
able to strike first in this one. Themselves on that post-match screen, and I mean, that was basically, if you're Rune Eaters, everything that you wanted out of this lineup, right? Storm is massive. The Razor never really had any difficulties finding his static link targets, and
Mm-hmm.
One Move were just never able to be the ones initiating into these fights.
Yeah. Often people pick CK as like a counter to Razor, but it really didn't feel like that was the case here.
And I mean, listen, you said it in the draft, Wingblade. You were sort of, as politely as possible, sort of asking some questions about that Underlord play. Afterlife's stat line is maybe not terrible on paper. 6, 5, and 10 isn't the worst in the world, but I don't know. A lot of the sort of top tier offlaners had already been banned away, but feels like the Underlord really didn't give them what they wanted to work with the rest of this lineup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he didn't do poorly. He just didn't solve any of the issues that their team had. He was just kind of there dealing damage, but he didn't help them win the game. And I hope that next game they make sure that they have like a very clear win condition where they have like one or two heroes that they know are gonna win the game for them and then just build a cast around that. Because they had a lot of stuns this game. They had the knight on the knight, which I guess could have worked, but yeah, the Underlord contributed nothing to that.
See if they make any adjustments in terms of their draft heading into game 2. They will go into that second game, though, down 0-1 series as Rune Eaters do take the opening match. So with that in mind, game 2 is going to be coming your way in just about 10 to 15 minutes here, so Wingblade and I will step aside for a moment, turn with the start of the game 2. So stick around.